This episode is with Mars, and it is pia26671. And this is the TIFF. It is a wide panorama encompassing a whole of Mars that's very large, going from left to right, right to left, and east to west. To there are lots of things to put your focus on, and you'll probably be able to come across what seems to be structures of of cities that were once on Mars, if not there presently or whatnot, and also paths and routeways that might be streams, that is, of some liquid substance, and other objects that indicate that they've been designed or whatnot. And since it is such a wide area to cover with this panorama, please concentrate as much as you can, and please don't have any inhibitions about what you might be able to decipher with the panorama, and please enjoy. The panorama that we're going to probe today, and it's Curiosity views Gale Crater's rim homing in on ancient river channel, and you may obtain this from the same source as usual. And voila, here it is. That time again. Welcome to Effective Evolution. And today we're back on Mars, and this is a TIFF of PIA26671. And this is the area here. And because it is such an enormous panorama that is incorporated with this TIFF, please give yourself some time to get familiar and acquainted with the areas. And there are some areas highlighted here. And we'll get to some more detail in a while. And in particular, there is an area here that has some very interesting objects. And please make a note of the highlights. And you'll notice there are some paths and some routes on the topography that resemble streams and waterfalls or whatnot. And pay attention to this area here. Believe it or not, there appears to be some heads on here, such as here, 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 and various topographical designs that are very distinct or whatnot. And Mars has been noted for having heads of all sorts on its surface, and that is ones that have been preserved over time, as well as statue heads and the like. And this panorama is enormous, as it was noted with the rover. And when we zoom into certain areas, you'll notice there are some intricate designs and patterns that can only be planned structures denoting areas of settlement or manufacturing activity on Mars that was once there, or grabs your attention with this panorama of Mars pia26671 is it's so huge, and yet there's so many interesting items in here that it's just astonishing the amount of detail you can achieve. And first of all, this area here has some very interesting items on it, and particularly here, here, and here. They appear to be types of heads. And Mars is somewhat notorious for having heads of all sorts on it. We'll explore that a bit more. And of course, in the background here, you'll notice some very interesting designs. This meandering pattern here, or path, seems to resemble a type of alluvial flow or a liquid flow of some sort with falls leading into a river or stream. And very intricate designs all over the place, such as this object here. Which appears to have intricate mechanical designs on it. Objects all over the place. And look carefully in the background as well, and you'll notice some very interesting designs right on the slope. Interesting roots of flows or whatnot. Very amazing designs, noteworthy patterns. That has definitely drawn the rover's attention. And adding on the transformation gadgets. Hopefully you can notice some more detail. with these linear patterns, designs, and structures and whatnot. Pathways and flow routes seem evident. And this area here is very notable as well. Having some focus on this area really makes things pop, so to speak. And zooming in a bit, you can probably notice some very amazing designs. Structures rise up off of the surface. What appear to be areas of intense development. Are they settlements? Are they mining areas or whatnot? Notice the geometrical globes. And are these possibly vehicles here? I.e. space vehicles or routeways, equipment? Can only speculate, of course. This area seems very interesting as well. Linear patterns seem to be evident. to the point that they indicate pre-planned topological activity on the surface. Appears to be a type of head. You could make out an eye here, a nose, lips, forehead, side of head, and over here there's probably another eye socket. And some interesting structures include this area here. Is this some type of beak of some type of bird or whatnot? With one eye here, one eye here, neck somehow in a position on the surface here behind the head or whatnot. And is this in fact a statue head, or is it a live head that was frozen and preserved with the cryogenic process over the years on Mars? And is it part of something that is attached to the top of the head here? Very interesting, to say the least. Elaborating a bit on this area, you can see that this is the object we just went over, the head. And to the left of this head, there seems to be another head here with elaborate headdress, face, profile with a nose here, eye here, eye area on this side here, chin, side of the head. It appears to be in the same category as this head here, except it does appear to be a bit smaller. And is it in fact a statue head, or is it a real live organism that has been preserved with time? And over here as well, there seems to be another face. The nose here, eye here, eye area on the other side, forehead, chin, and some type of object attached to the forehead. Is it a horn of some sort, or you can only speculate, but very astonishing to say the least, as well as some vivid designs in the back here in addition. There, you can see the other face, other face, face. And that object in the background here, that could be some type of bird with eyes or a beak, maybe some type of groove on the surface of the Earth, of Mars. And interesting objects here as well. To extrapolate a bit more with our friend here, you can see that if we zoom in a bit, you can see the outline of a face here, as well as a nose, mouth area, eye, forehead with some object attached to it. And you must admit it is quite enticing to speculate on it. especially since it's in an area with other types of heads. And is this a statue head, or is it a real life type of organism or animal's head? And if you look carefully, you'll notice some very interesting objects here as well. Quite symmetrical, with geometrical objects on it. And of course, this is where the other head was. And the one before that, right here. We're going to zoom in on some particular areas. And this would be the area here. And you may be able to make out some nice designs and patterns and structures right away. And after we add some of the probing gadgets to it, we could definitely come up with some more detail. And hopefully you could determine some very intricate designs and layering here, geometrical patterns such as a circular dome-like structure here, structures on the surface of this square or close to square, and if not, a rectangle that looks like a square. And some very interesting structures over here. You can see a tubular structure here with stands of some sort and some shadows and intricate designs in here. In here as well. And if we add on some highlights, now this would be the infrared tool, along with the contrast brightness, the fill light and clarity mode. And just notice the collection of amazing designs and patterns. This area here has some type of platform, some type of column array here supporting the platform. These shaped objects here are interesting. Are these vehicles of some sort? Bear in mind this is a semi-rectangular area, square area, whatnot. And there's structures all over the place. We notice one dome-like area here, and here's another one here. Amazing linear patterns of symmetry. Is this a settled area of Mars? and intricate designs just about all over the place. Here as well. Is this an integrated, established colony area or a mining area of some sort on Mars? And this is just with the infrared, and you can see that those details are there. Platform-like area here. Structures that seem to rise up off the surface. Structures here. Some tubular structures here. Are they pipes? Structures over here. And well linear patterns, well structured patterns of design here. Although there is a slope. And with just the contrast and brightness and the felt light and clarity tool to bring out the lighter areas with some detail and whatnot, you can see those structures are there. And please use your magnifiers to bring out some more detail. And then we added on the infrared gadget as well as the areas of highlight. This is the infrared mode. And the highlights with the infrared mode, and also the contrast brightness and light and clarity mode. And the original selection. And this being the area here. Making with this panorama of Mars, pia26671, gets even more amazing when you go over some areas spontaneously. And for example, just notice this object here. It kind of grabs your attention. And the reason for that is it has a very intriguing design to it. For one, it doesn't look like it's some type of rock. It looks more like a machine part with intricate designs and mechanical parts all over it. And not to mention some very puzzling objects around it, such as here, here, around here. And adding on some of the curving gadgets, you can see that the shapes are just amazing. There seems to be more detail on this object, whatever it is. Notice this circular pattern here. And geometrical designs. It looks like it's some type of intricate mechanism. And hopefully not having too much pareidolia, but it could be coming up from the surface here. And that's why it has the rover's attention. There's also an intricate design here, but if we zoom in a bit using the contrast and brightness tool, we get this. And you can notice that design is still there. Does that occur regularly in nature? I'm sure you'll admit that it does seem to be a designed circuit piece of some sort, of some function. And with the infrared, this is what we get. You can see that design is still there. Some more detail maybe noticed in the background. Panorama of Mars, pia26671, is that there appears to be structures on the slopes, that is, the hilly areas. For example, this area here does indicate some interesting paths and routes. For example, this route here, whatnot, here, just to name a few. And if we go in a little further, there are some amazing designs on the side. You can see designs in many places. And they would indicate planned topological landform architecture. And if we incorporate the infrared mode, this is what we get. And if you focus in, you could discern some shapes and designs and patterns right here, perhaps with a bit more detail. And please go over other hill areas or slope areas and come across what you may. To wrap things up then with this panorama of Mars, pia26671, after going over this video or whatnot, I'm sure you've come up with some thoughts regarding what is there to be deciphered, and you'll probably agree there are numerous structures that indicate various areas that could have been settlements, if not presently, and if not for the future, if the inhabitants do decide to come back. And also the pathways and various items and objects. It does make this panorama of Mars very intriguing. And please keep up your exploration with the universe and space and everything that suits your curiosity. And until next time, thank you for your time on Effective Evolution.